Have you ever noticed how one simple comparison can scatter like a small pebble and cause an avalanche in a child? Look how fast your friend is doing it. And the world, which was so warm and understandable, suddenly cracks. At this moment, something freezes inside the child. A quiet voice whispers, "I'm worse," and no motivation will work, because the whole point of the lesson turns upside down. Not to study for yourself, but to match someone else's picture of success. Morning. The kitchen, the smell of hot coffee, bubbling water in the kettle, a newspaper with headlines on the table, a child on a chair trying to tie his shoelaces. His fingers are clumsy. His tongue is slightly stuck out in effort. You're sipping a mug, thinking about a meeting, and in a harmless tone you drop, "Look how fast Lucas is doing." That's it. The child's hands are jumping, his eyes are on the shoelaces, but his thoughts are no longer about the shoelaces. They are about the fact that he is slow, not like that. Worse. What should be an exercise becomes an exam in which he is supposed to fail. A day passes, a puzzle on the floor, pieces scattered, cars. You come in and say, "Well done, you're trying." But you immediately add, "Not like your brothers." The child collects piece by piece, but no longer for the sake of pleasure, for the sake of proving his own worth. Every mismatch turns into a little note. You're falling short. The first breaking point is when you see tears. They are not bitter or loud. They are like raindrops in a closed window, almost imperceptible, but promising a storm. You suddenly remember your own childhood, the phrases, "Why aren't you like someone else?" and the heaviness in your chest that remained for years. This is the moment when you can stop and change the rule of the game. You sit next to him. Don't teach, don't command, don't mention someone's name. Just say, "I see how hard you're trying." This is a big step. And then a small miracle happens. The child looks at himself, at his hands, at the solution of the problem, and interest returns in his gaze. His face softens, his fingers find the right piece, and success already belongs to him. But it's not a perfect story without falls. A few days later, the comparison comes out of your mouth again. You don't have time to react. The child's gaze is frozen. That quiet voice is whispering, "I'm worse," again. And then the second turning point. You stop, take the child by the hand and say softly, "Let's see what you've done yourself." Not being compared to anyone else. Slowly, the tension subsides. Curiosity returns and the desire to experiment, too. The psychology here is simple and cruel at the same time. The comparison shifts attention from internal motivation to external approval. The child begins to work not for the sake of the process, but for the sake of evaluation. And as soon as the evaluation becomes an unattainable benchmark, interest dies. Attention to one's own progress transfers energy back inside. I've made a step. I'm better than yesterday. I can try another way. This is the fundamental difference between motivation from the outside and motivation from the inside. Life gives us tiny checks. A drawing, a puzzle, shoelaces. Every moment is a chance to choose whether to compare or mark personal growth. You notice how different the atmosphere at home is when you celebrate small victories. Not loud awards, but simple phrases. Did you notice how you did it differently? You handled this step better than yesterday. The child begins to record achievements, putting them like pebbles in his piggy bank of confidence. One evening, a child draws a laugh, a brushstroke, an unexpected color, and he giggles because he's having fun. You don't say, "Sam's got it neat." You just sit next to him and say, "It's so vivid, I like the way you made that color." His face breaks into a smile. He looks at the painting as if it were his own discovery. This is where lasting confidence is built. Not in comparison with someone else, but in the feeling of "I succeeded." Mistakes are no longer a verdict. They become part of the path map. Small steps are the building blocks of self-confidence. And the less often you compare, the stronger this foundation is. The child learns to see progress rather than other people's achievements. Learns to look for solutions rather than fear failure. Parenting is not a race. This is a journey where you walk side by side, help to navigate, mark the way. Your role is not to measure or weigh, but to light the path, show where the stone has already been laid and what step has been taken. When evening falls, the child will be tired, but he will have a feeling of lightness in his shoulders and a smile on his face, because he realized that his successes are his own, and this is the most important thing. Comparisons can destroy a child's world in a second. Focusing on his own progress builds a home in which he will feel safe and feel free to try new things. If you leave one rule outside the threshold, do not compare, then you will give your child not just confidence, but a constant compass that will guide him all his life.